Crime is a serious matter that has plagued our society since the beginning of time. For many years, illegal activities have been escalating within the youth population. Juvenile delinquency not only affects the victims and the offender, but also affects the community, school, and family. The question is whether or not there are ways to prevent juvenile delinquency from happening, as well as what can be done to help a juvenile who is already in the system for recidivism. If early intervention and prevention methods are used for juvenile delinquency, then it increases the chance to deter juveniles from delinquent acts. The history of juvenile delinquency can be traced back hundreds of years ago. According to fine law, juvenile delinquents are minors, usually defined as being between the ages of 10 and 18, who have committed some act that violates the law. The first juvenile justice system was established in 1899 in Illinois. These developments also led to the first child and adolescent psychiatric clinic in 1909 in Chicago. The clinic was created to aid in helping the family court system. The goal of the courts was to help the youth return to a healthy, crime-free lifestyle. According to Mike Castle, the findings of the U.S. Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention show that police annually arrest 2.2 million juveniles. 1.7 million cases are referred to juvenile court, an estimated 400,000 young people cycle through juvenile detention centers, and about 100,000 youth are detained in juvenile jails and other residential facilities each night. This statistic shows how serious juvenile crime is in today's society. Juvenile delinquency affects a large diversity of people within the community, family, school system, and the juveniles themselves. It is widely believed that early phase intervention is the best approach to preventing juvenile delinquency. As discussed prior, many components come together to help reach the main goal, deterring juvenile crime. There are many different methods to discourage delinquent and criminal behavior. Preschool programs and parental education help improve school readiness. These programs help set a pattern that prevents delinquency in the future. Children who participate are less likely to drop out and perform delinquent behavior because they have had better early education experiences and a stronger commitment to their education. Early intervention also shows increases in IQ scores and executive functioning, elementary school achievement, and lower rates of aggression and antisocial behavior. Head Start is one of the most influential programs created. This program provides education, health services, nutritional guidelines, parental involvement, and social services to low-income children and their families. Almost 50 years later, Head Start has enrolled over 22 million children in its history. The ultimate goal of this program is to prepare children for school to give them a little bit of an advantage. School allows a warning for behavior problems. Early signs of disruptiveness can later be developed into delinquent behavior. Behavioral techniques in the classroom have had many positive comebacks. Family involvement is classified as the primary institution of socialization for the youth. Family plays the most important role in the prevention of juvenile delinquency. How parents interact with their children has a strong impact on the likelihood of delinquent behavior. Brain development can be altered by chemical agents, a mother's behavior and health, as well as environmental factors that affect the mother. These alterations can be fatal during the fetal stage. There are multiple programs that have been established to help mothers who are low income get the proper treatment. Some of these programs include the Mailman Center Program, the Syracuse University Family Development Research Program, and Webster Stratton. Studies have shown that adequate parenting and powerful family dynamics can reduce the possibility of criminal behavior among juveniles. Training programs were designed for families and parents to help protect and improve relationships while involving the juvenile delinquent. And a review of a program similar to this showed a reduction in the prior juvenile behaviors and a 75% diminution of delinquency among the juvenile participants. Although family has the biggest impact on juveniles, other factors contribute to preventing juvenile delinquency. Communities also have a strong role to play in preventing juvenile delinquency. All community members, from teachers, business leaders, law enforcement, and even construction workers, have an impact on the development of the youth. Reducing violence and delinquency through a community-wide effort has a potential to help express the community's norms, values, and policies to the youth. The Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Police Services supports the concept of successful community policing through close, mutually beneficial ties between police and community members. Within this closeness between the police and community, it allows them to determine the problems in the community and find the appropriate measures to fix them. Another effective program that tried and succeeded is the Texas City Action Plan to Prevent Crime. This program consisted of 7 municipal governments, local leaders, private entities, and citizens that worked together to form strategies to reduce violence within their community. Working together help them succeed in creating jobs, youth recreation facilities, conflict resolution training, violence reduction through environmental design, and improved juvenile justice processes. Within the past decade, the idea that young people can and should work together with adults to contribute ideas to improve their communities has gained support. In 10 sites across the country, the Bureau of Justice Assistance has funded a program to help reduce drug use and improve the qualities in their neighborhoods. There were a number of positive effects in the targeted areas. Communities need to initiate programs that help deter youth from violence and help develop skills to solve problems rationally. An action plan has been designed to show the risk factors that are involved in juvenile delinquency. These risk factors include the community, peers, school, individual, and family. When early intervention methods do not entirely work, we resort to more drastic prevention programs. If early intervention fails and a juvenile has committed delinquent acts, a new approach is taken. Some programs use fear as a target to scare the juveniles from repeating these acts. Scared Straight is used as an intervention program. This program exposes the delinquents to the harsh reality of prison and the inmates. It was designed to scare these juveniles into leading a life that does not involve future criminal activity. The said delinquent is brought to an adult prison, given a tour, and has face-to-face conversation with convicted felons. Although this tactic is a little harsh, it seems to have an effect on the juveniles. Restorative justice combines two theories for juvenile delinquent treatment, punishment, and restoration. The main goal of this program is to restore justice within the delinquent to the victim as well as the community. The crime that the juvenile committed is revisited and the victim is confronted. If early intervention is not useful, there are more distinct approaches. Some examples of programs that are for juveniles that are in the system include Scared Straight, MST, and restorative justice. These programs are in place to prevent children who are now in the system to not commit a crime again. They use fear, therapy, and a glimpse of reality to try and deter these children from living a life full of crime. Trying to prevent juveniles is something everyone needs to be a part of, simply because it affects everyone in society. The key is continuity of intervention. This should be the goal that every program strives to reach. I feel that the research I've studied and based my paper off of shows numerous positive outcomes from these intervention and prevention methods. Some of these programs may help in more ways than others, but they all aim for the same thing, to prevent juvenile delinquency. As time goes on, we will be able to learn and acquire more about why these things happen and what can be done to prevent them. I do not think that juvenile delinquency will be stopped completely. However, I do believe that things will be put into place to understand why these juveniles act this way. Until that point, we must all contribute ideas and our effort to help the youth of America. They are the future of this country.